The Department of Fruit Growing has devoted itself to the apricot and peach breeding program since the 1950s. Attention was focused on the most commonly grown varieties of apricots in former Czechoslovakia, Velkopavlovická, Maďarská and Sabinovská. The main subject of scientific research is the transmission of the inherited PPV, plumpox virus resistance trait to apricot progenies.
We are on Horticulture faculty from the Mendel University in Brno, on Department of Pomology, where we have research activity focusing for the apricot and peach breeding program, mostly for the apricots. This breeding program and improvement program for the apricot started in 1960 by Professor Vachun and Professor Vávra. And up to now we still continue in this research program. One of the part of our research is a 7-frame project. So we are now in the finishing of this 7-frame project.
What methods had to be used to achieve results?
After phenotyping, we used ELISA method for PPV detection, and this method we use for confirmation of visual symptoms on tested hybrids which grow in a greenhouse.
What conclusions the scientific team reached?
We can divide the results into 2 levels. One of the level is the practical one, because we found a new apricot-resistant cultivars, and also we found the segregation ratio for the breeding in the progeny crossed by Harlane and Starkely Orange. The second level is the more scientific level, because we published 3 impact papers dealing the problem of the segregation ration when we used Harlane as one of the genitors. So this is one of the basic knowledge, because the Harlane cultivar is not so much spread as the genitors. We also want to introduce this new apricot resistant cultivar into practice, not only within the Czech Republic but also abroad, like France, North Italy, when our cultivars could be adapted for local agroecological conditions.
The integral part of the research is also cooperation with foreign partners.
So I am a research director in France for INRA, which is in fact the National Institute of Agronomy, and I'm working in south-west of France in Bordeaux. My main focus is resistance to Charcot disease, which is a disease that is in fact infected plum trees and apricot trees and peach trees. And I'm working in collaboration for years now with Czech institutes from Prague, the CRI, and also the University of Brno and Lednice Horticultural Institute. And we've been working for several years through bilateral projects and more recently through European projects, Charcot disease focus. And the name of this project is Charcot, in fact, coming from Charcot containment.
Where to orient oneself and what goals it is necessary to focus on in the future.
Even if peach is completely susceptible to the virus, we were able to show that we can use alternative species that we can use in crossing with peach. So I'm talking about Prunus davidiana, which is a wide relative of peach, and I'm talking about almond also. So there is some hope in peach. It will take a little bit more of time to be able to provide a peach-resistant variety, but we have some idea, and we tested also the possibility to use other species for that. And finally, by the end, we provided to Brussels with guidelines on how to manage and how to deal with Shaka disease and what we should do to be able to contain the disease in nurseries or in mother plant area or also in orchards. So those reports were delivered to Brussels, and over there now they are using them to be able to develop a system of management of the disease at the same everywhere in Europe. At the breeding level, we have a new project starting this year. It's called MARS, for Marker-Assisted Resistance to Shaka, and it will in fact focus on developing and accelerating also the implementation of marker-assisted selection in apricots. In this case, the idea is to be able to develop everywhere in Europe varieties that are resistant to the disease, but also varieties that are adapted locally. So we are now making something a little bit more wider at the European level.
Another goal of the Department of Fruit Growing is to improve breeding by searching for resistant donors with fruits of better quality, commercialization of varieties through patents, registration and propagation based on license fees in France and other Mediterranean countries where apricot production is concentrated.